All right. That's good sports heads. That's good Broncos heads. Welcome. I'm Brandon Perna here with Will Keys. It is our weekly game pick'em episode. So, usually, first 10 minutes or so here, we talk about Broncos news. Not going to do that this week. We're getting into the picks because later, Will and I are recording an extra Broncos podcast with a guest to discuss a possible draft pick the Broncos might be interested in Carson Strong, the strong arm. So we're going to save our Broncos talk for that. Today, we're just going to get into the picks, but not after I mention that this episode is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's only sportsbook as far as I'm concerned. Use code DNVR. Oops, damn it. I hit the wrong button again. DNVR when you sign up at DraftKings to take advantage of DraftKings because they want you to take advantage of them. And benchwarmerbrew.com. Our t-shirt pre-orders still happening for a couple more days. If you want the Bench Warmer Brew t-shirt, we got my t-shirt, as you can see here. Urinating Trees color scheme, 5 points color scheme. You pick a color scheme, you pre-order the shirt, then you get a shirt. Now, we are going into the picks. Will, we've got so many picks. I think we actually did better last week, even though we were picking against the grain.
We did. We Costanza'd it.
Yes.
We saw that we were struggling pretty mightily, and we decided to reverse course. And I'm curious to see how we did.
We're still at 44 in the rankings here, so we're not even on the first page. 95 and 84.
On the front page.
Yeah, we want to be on that front page. We did score 80 points, which I'd say that's above average. I can't even tell who's in last place because I think when people get too far down, they stop making their picks. So we'll just focus back on the top ballers up here. Travis Moody, dang. Sole possession of first place. He had 100 points last week. Evan Howell creeping up. Sole possession of second place. Then there's a big tie for third between Fred Barber, Billy Bob Joe climbing back up, Dalton Macy, and Juan Gonzalez. So,
yeah,
the Pick'em League was started through Patreon. You had access to join the Pick'em League through Patreon, and we used to do the prediction episodes just for Patreon, but everybody said, no, put the videos on YouTube, maybe do a Pick'em League. That's what we did. So now we make all our picks through this ESPN app. And Will and I together as a united team, not very good. Not very good at all.
Very bad, actually. I think both of us separately would be doing a lot better.
Yeah.
Making picks is a very personal process.
It really is. It's like, music taste and religion,
You wouldn't try to write a novel with two people, would you? Be a disaster.
I would, because I would need a ghostwriter.
That's a good point. You wouldn't make music with two. No, you would actually. You would do that. Probably 2 or 3 or 4. What I'm trying to say is, you got to have an executive decision. You can't have two people trying to come to a consensus. Then you just meet in the middle, and you get what we've gotten this year, which is very middling results.
Yeah. In order to be a successful NFL game picker, you need to be a dictator.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Master of your domain, if we want to bring Seinfeld back into it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Thursday Night Football, right off the bat, we got the Cowboys heading into New Orleans. 86% of the people taking Dallas. The Saints looks like they're going to start Taysom Hill, despite having plantar fascist foot for Taysom Hill. Now, in our power rankings episode, Will, you were not too kind to the Cowboys.
No.
And I was agreeing with the unkindness until I remembered they've been down some key players. They've been without CeeDee Lamb. They've been without Amari Cooper. They've been without Randy Gregory. They haven't had DeMarcus Lawrence pretty much all year. They're going to get Amari Cooper back, which I think they desperately need on offense. And the Saints, they don't have an answer at QB, and the Saints might get Alvin Kamara back this week. He's day-to-day right now. Obviously, if he doesn't play, they have no chance. If he does play, they're still going to lose, and I'm taking the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't very easy on the Cowboys in the power rankings. They're a better team than where we put them. They just are. But it's like, here's the thing, like you have to chastise, the really talented, smart kid to get him to, put himself in the shape. And losing to the Raiders at home on Thanksgiving, like that's really the height of underachieving. That might be an oxymoron, but no, this isn't. Power rankings aren't for sympathy. I know they have players out. Now they have a coach out. Maybe they're better without Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, and I think they get CeeDee Lamb should be out of concussion protocol as well.
That's really big.
Zeke, there was some question on whether or not he was going to play. He's been a full participant in practice, and honestly, I think they should give more carries to Tony Pollard at this point. Like Zeke's still fine, but I think Tony needs more carries. But yeah, I'm excited to see I hope they look really good without Mike McCarthy, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the Ezekiel Elliott thing is kind of funny. We won't spend too much time on this, but like for paying a running back $15 million, you'd think they have big holes somewhere on their roster, but they really don't. So even with that bad deal, you have to give the Jones boys a little bit of credit.
They've got a good roster. Really, they're just maybe drafting a couple corners away from being pretty good in the back end too. All right, we'll take the Cowboys. You don't think the Saints can win, right? I mean, they can. You don't think they will?
I don't think it's possible.
Woo! Look at this. 98% of the world believes the Buccaneers will go into Atlanta and beat the Falcons.
Yeah, the Falcons have been very maddening this year. You're just like, at some point they're going to break through. They're going to break through, and they just, whenever they have a chance, they totally crap the bed. It's hard for me to pick the Falcons here. They played once already this year, and I think that was the year where the game where Mike Edwards had 2 touchdowns. So a little fluky. And I think with this game being at home, I don't know, like, who knows if home field advantage is like really a thing anymore, because it used to be an automatic 3 points, and now I think Vegas has it as a 1.5 point advantage.
Yeah.
Just for playing at home. And the results bear that out. I don't know. I don't think it should really factor as much into our picks as we think it should. So on that note, I will take the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I'll take the Buccaneers too. Antonio Brown's going to miss a couple more weeks, but they got Gronk back. That's huge for the offense. I talked a lot about that today on the Grossi Perna show. We also learned Cordarrelle Patterson going to play a little safety. He is listed as the third string safety now. And the only chance Atlanta has to win is if Mr. Cordarrelle Patterson has a huge game. But really, it makes game planning easy. Just defend Patterson. Defend him, and Atlanta's pretty limited without it. Then we've got Arizona going to Chicago. 97% of the people taking the Cardinals here. The Bears get a little extra rest this week after that disgusting win on Thanksgiving football where Matt Nagy was not fired. That son of a gun. And the Cardinals have both DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray practicing this week. So I think it looks like Kyler Murray will play. I don't know about Hopkins. Getting Murray back is huge, obviously. But even if it was Colt McCoy again, I would have confidence they would beat the Bears. We saw the Ravens do it with what? Tyler Huntley, right?
Yeah.
So easy. Cardinals.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, we don't know necessarily who's going to play quarterback for either of these teams, but I don't think there's a quarterback scenario that would make me pick the Bears here. Yeah. Unless it was like Chris Streveler starting for the Cardinals.
Streveler,
dog.
Colt McCoy starts, but then gets hurt. Streveler comes in, and Andy Dalton beats Streveler, right?
I think that's feasible.
Yeah.
Still maybe not even likely.
No. We'll take the Cards. All right, here's an interesting game. For both teams, really. The Chargers going into the red hot Bungles. 28% of the people taking the Chargers. That's how bad their loss looked to the Broncos. Just 28% of the people now believe in Justin Herbert and LA. I can't figure out the Chargers. They should be winning more games than they are. Herbert in that game against the Broncos wasn't really bad. I would say they kind of hung in there because he was making a lot of plays under pressure, moving the pocket with his legs. 2 bad picks, obviously, but their offensive line looks like it might have some issues, and I know they were a little bit injured, but their defense, man, like, it's just such a liability. And I think the Bengals might be on an uptick of becoming a very hot team right now.
Yeah, I'm really concerned for the Chargers with how basically what are they going to do with Joe Mixon, because Joe Mixon's been on a tear over the last few games. Yeah, Joe Burrow even running the football a little bit. Like, this is a bad matchup, I think, for the Chargers. That said, right when you want to count the Chargers out, they win, and right when you want to crown the Bengals, they lose.
But so true.
I think I'm just going to go with my first instinct, which is picking the Bengals.
Yeah, I'll take Cincinnati. I mean, the Chargers really had a hard time with Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams, and I think Mixon is as good as they are right now. So
I would say
that's alive.
Quite true.
Wow. All right. Tom Grossi is waiting for his dream to come true here, predicting that the Lions will get their first win against the Vikings. Just 6% of the people believe the Lions can beat the Vikings, which is more than people believe the Falcons can beat the Buccaneers. That's kind of crazy to me. Because the Lions are as bad a football team as their record suggests.
I don't know if I necessarily agree. Like, their point differential suggests that they should be at 2 or 3 wins right now. They're 2.5 and 8-5 in terms of expected win-loss on Pro Football Reference.
Yeah,
I think they have to break through. They're just especially bad at finding ways to lose.
Yeah, that's the worst.
You just can't get unlucky over 17 games. I don't think. Here's my question for you, though. Does Dan Campbell keep his job at the end of the year?
I don't fucking know.
Like, you can't bring back a coach that goes 16-1, right?
Hugh Jackson should be the warning, the writing on the wall.
Yeah. 0-16 and 1-15.
I don't think the Lions are a well-coached team. So, yeah, you could move on from Dan Campbell as much as that would hurt. Now, there's maybe part of the reason the Lions have a chance is Dalvin Cook hurt. And what's it, Alexander Madison? That's the backup?
Yeah.
He's pretty good. So it's not a huge drop-off, but, trying to find a reason for Lions fans to maybe watch their team play.
I think watch the game. Yeah, definitely watch the game. Although, I don't know, this feels like a game where, Kirk got a little embarrassed against the 49ers. No one's going to be watching this game. He puts up big numbers. He pads the stats a little bit against the Lions. I don't know.
I guess, is DeAndre Swift still hurt? Yeah, I could miss a couple weeks with the shoulder injury. He was the bright spot there for the Lions. Minnesota's going to win. No chance without Swift.
I think Swift should come back after the Broncos game. I think he should play it safe.
Fair enough. Like when we demanded Antonio Brown stay out of the playoff game for his concussion.
Yeah, I don't think, could Antonio Brown getting another concussion, could that really affect him that much at this point?
No, but this was the perfect hit, right?
Yeah. What if, he just got concussed perfectly again to where it turned him into a normal person?
It made him sane again?
Behaved correctly. Yeah.
I would be okay with that. As long as he wasn't helping Tom Brady win. Which, shout out, I'm on the Tom Brady podcast documentary, Man in the Arena, as a hater. Spotify, Man in the Arena. I'm in the credits. Brandon Perna, That's Good Sports, Chad Neat, the Fuck You Tom Brady song. I made it, guys. Check it out. All right. Giants, Dolphins. Giants coming off a win, but just 16% of America, of the world, believes the Giants can go in and beat the Dolphins. And let's talk about the Dolphins for a second, because what are they on, a 4-game win streak now?
Yeah.
I've been trying to hype up Tua a little bit on Twitter, posing some interesting questions and scenarios, and people do not want to give Tua credit, man. It is weird. And don't get me wrong.
Bizarrely polarizing. Bizarrely.
And he's not perfect. I'm not saying he's an elite quarterback. I compared him to Mac Jones, and I was called an idiot by people. And the reason I compared him to Mac Jones is because he's a first-round pick. He's only played a couple more games than Mac Jones. And I was saying that he's doing as well as Mac Jones because he's got a shit offensive line in front of him and almost no consistency in the run game. Mac Jones, great offensive line, very good run game, best defense in the league. Yeah. So my observation over the last month with Tua is like, I think he's starting to figure it out. He's starting to do some things you should be excited about. And the reason I really started thinking about this is because we've talked about this before, Will. Let's just say the Dolphins still really want Deshaun Watson, and they trade for Deshaun Watson. Then Tua becomes a quarterback who can probably be got by an NFL team. And if the Broncos were going to have to choose between drafting a QB or maybe trading away a pick for Tua, I kind of like the idea of Tua right now. So that's just been on my mind.
Yeah, no, I think that's a real discussion to be had, especially when you get to pair him up with Jerry Jeudy, who's thrown to at Alabama. But I think, no, you're totally spot on with Tua. He's doing a lot with a little right now, and the Dolphins are doing a good job. Like, what was Tua really good at Alabama? Running RPOs, and they're incorporating a lot of those in their offense right now. And even though they don't have a very good run game, it's working really well. And so, I like Tua a lot. I think, if you switched places with Mac Jones, I think the Patriots would be 8-4 right now. So
yeah, I think it's the same thing.
They maybe win like a couple of those early games too, where they were trying to figure things out.
Yeah, and exactly. And he got hurt in the middle of the season, kind of derailed a little bit of maybe progress he was making, Tua.
Yeah.
And like the knock on him is like his deep ball. And he actually throws a good deep ball. He just doesn't take as many deep shots as some other quarterbacks. But percentage-wise, he's pretty damn good on short passes and intermediate passes compared to some of the best quarterbacks in the league. And as he gets more comfortable and does take more shots deep, I think that'll come. Like, it's not that he can't do it. It's just, and that like him and Waddle are starting to build chemistry together. So I know we spend a lot of time here on the Dolphins, but I think it's just interesting because he could be a quarterback that's available. And that's what I'm starting to think about right now.
I think the Dolphins would be really stupid to go after Deshaun Watson.
I do too. I think you use all that ammo you would trade for Watson and you just build up front. Build your line.
Exactly.
Give him a chance. Take another running back later in the draft, and you'll be all right. And we I don't think the Giants are going to win.
Imagine if they had gotten Javonte Williams like they were trying to.
Oh. Yeah, but would they even use him right? That's my question.
That's a good question. And they got Javon Holland too. By all accounts, is pretty good. I mean, I haven't watched too much of him, so I don't know. They're an intriguing team going forward. We said that last year too, though. But
they're playing like we thought they might, and we'll see how long they do it. They get a win this week against the Mike Glennon-led Giants.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we're almost halfway through here. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up my favorite sports book, DraftKings Sportsbook.
The only sports book.
It's the only sports book I can read. Football fans, I'm sure we all love an action-packed, high-scoring NFL game. But with the latest no-brainer from DraftKings Sportsbook, which is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, you'll be a winner once a single point scored. New customers who bet $1 on any team to score can win $100 in free bets. $1 into $100 in free bets. I like the parlays. I've been bragging about my parlay hits all week. You can do same game parlays. I like multiple game parlays. Player prop bets is my jam right now. DraftKings, safe, secure, reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Make sure you check them out. Code DNVR. Download. Download DraftKings Sportsbook now. Use code DNVR and bet $1 on any team to score and win $100 in free bets. If they score, you score with promo code DNVR this week. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner in the NFL. Got to be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. DraftKings. All right, Will. Keep rolling here.
Yeah.
Eagles, Jets. Eagles, Jets.
I like the Eagles. I think they get back on track.
Yeah. Jets.
That was a really disappointing loss against New York because Eagles fans were in a frenzy after those last two wins. And that was a real letdown.
They're in a different frenzy. Their new frenzy is murder Jalen Hurts. Have him killed.
Yeah, here's a little lesson for you. For the Eagles fans out there. This is what young quarterbacks do. They look really good for a couple weeks and then they suck ass.
Yeah.
And it's going to take them a while to be consistent. So just shut the fuck up and sit down and just wait. Just show some goddamn patience.
Thank you, Will. You went exactly in the direction I wanted to go. Hurts is still good, guys. He's a unique quarterback.
Yeah.
Play to his strengths. You still ran the ball well, but he threw 3 picks. It's going to happen sometimes. You don't want it to happen. Even good quarterbacks might do it. We saw Lamar Jackson same week throw 4 picks.
Exactly.
So I think the Eagles, also with tons of draft picks, would be stupid to try and not build around Jalen Hurts right now. I think they got somebody special there. He's never going to be the best passer in the league, but I think you can put a run together with him. So we'll take Eagles bouncing back against the Jets, who I don't know about Zach Wilson. He's got Zach Wilson opposite. He does have incredible arm talent, and you'll see him make some throws, and you're like, oh shit. But I don't know if he'll ever put the game together. He needs a lot of time to be patient with. But damn, what's their defensive lineman? Franklin Meyer?
John Franklin Myers.
John Franklin Meyer. That guy's turning into a beast. And
they've got a lot of studs on defense.
And there is Carl Lawson, the guy who got hurt this year to start the season that they traded for.
Signed him.
Oh, it signed him. Yeah. Free agent acquisition, right? Big payday. Hurt all year. Next year, they get him back there. That defensive front could be very, very good. But anyway. Colts, Texans. Yeehaw. Colts going to get back on track in this game.
Colts.
I mean, the Texans are so bad, they let the Jets come back and beat them last week. So, and then
a week after they beat the Titans. It doesn't make sense.
None of this makes sense.
None of it.
During one of my streams, I called out a guy who said it's Tyrod Taylor. I said, no. Tyrod Taylor told everybody it's Tyrod Taylor. And then Tyrod Taylor on Pat McAfee this week said it's Tyrod Taylor. So I don't know what the hell Tyrod's doing. Maybe getting stabbed in the lungs too many times by team doctors fucked with his brain.
Yeah,
I like Tyrod
Taylor.
T-Rod. It's T-Rod now. He should just mess with everybody. Yeah. We're going to take the Colts here. They had a chance to beat the Bucs. Really disappointing that they didn't. Really disappointing.
Agreed.
Because they played mostly well, and then they just let the game slip away.
Turnovers. They were, I think, plus 15 in turnover differential before that game, and then they gave it away 4 times. So
4 or 5.
4 or 5,
The final pick, I think, went through.
Yeah, that's not really a turnover if it's the last play of the game.
No, not really. And they gave themselves a chance to win, too, with that kickoff late. Like, that's what a good team does.
That got me out of my chair.
Yeah. So I think the Colts, they're close.
How funny is it? Like, we shouldn't be rooting for the Colts.
No.
We really shouldn't. But we all were.
Because I just wanted to see the Buccaneers lose. Yeah, I like Jonathan Taylor. They're on Hard Knocks, so we're gonna like the Colts more because they're on Hard Knocks. Because
they're America's team right now.
Yeah, we're gonna get a look at some of the players, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, these are real human beings. I shouldn't be so critical. But the Texans, I will say this: if you just looked at the one pass Tyrod Taylor made to Brandon Cooks, he would look like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Like it was. Yeah. And catch, like it was so pretty. And I was like, oh, the Texans might run away with this. But it was basically the only play they made all game. So they're still the Texans.
I mean, if you watch Teddy Bridgewater's 2 touchdowns against the Chargers, you're like, wow, this guy is Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. He's fucking stiff-armed Joey Bosa into the dirt.
The
6 feet
Earth's
under.
Crust.
Rewatching that play just brought me so much joy. Okay. Here's a game I like. Football team at Raiders. People are jumping on the Raiders bandwagon hard. 74% of the people taking the Raiders.
Yeah, calm down. Public.
And Washington's on a 3-game win streak now.
Ooh. Heineke, baby. Like
I want Washington. I pick Washington.
I made that tweet about like teams that will definitely be in the market for a quarterback, and I put Washington in maybe because or like probably, I think the probably tier. He was like, and that was before Taylor Heineke played really well on Monday Night Football, granted against the Seahawks, but he doesn't have a very tall task ahead with the Raiders defense. I don't know, there's a good chance they get back to 500 and they're already in the playoffs. That's how stupid this year is.
Yeah, no, it's really stupid.
I like him. I mean, you got a team that's literally spewing sewage out of their stadium, and the Raiders who are just doing it metaphorically.
Yeah, the Raiders are the sewage that leaks at Washington.
Yeah.
So we'll take the football team. I think the Raiders got lucky, very lucky to beat the Cowboys. But I don't think the Raiders are a bad team. It's just what's going to happen between now and Sunday that you're like, oh, that is horrible. And it's something that happens to the Raiders. That's just.
Yeah, something's going to happen.
All right. Jags, Rams.
Going to chip a tooth or something. All right. We don't need to spend any time on this one. Jags.
Nope. Rams. Whoa. Just kidding. Only 1% of the people taking Jacksonville. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about the Rams because I'm so angry at them right now.
This feels like Ben Roethlisberger's swan song against his arch rival, the Baltimore Ravens. This is a guy who once threw 5 touchdowns and a half against the Ravens defense at their peak. And
I had him in fantasy football too.
Himself. Did you really?
I'm pretty sure it was that game.
Yeah, that was quite the moment. I don't think that's going to happen this week. I'm going to go out on a limb.
Ravens?
Ravens.
Yep. I'm looking for the Ravens to have both their offense and defense show up to a game this season. That's all I'm asking. Niners, Seahawks. Talk about a team that fell hard, Seattle. I think we're both high on the Niners right now. You can confirm that in our power rankings.
Do you think there's so goddamn creative on offense? It's fun to watch.
It is fun to watch. They're going to be without Debo, so that's kind of a blow, but that's kind of what Kyle Shanahan's done all season is figure out different ways to get things going. Even though they've lost 5, it hasn't been perfect, but Elijah Mitchell, I think they'll utilize him. Are you worried about Russell Wilson in terms of how good he is still? Do you think it's just the injury, or do you think there's some fall off in his game?
I think he probably came back too soon from injury because the finger is that's a really, really important thing when you're throwing a football. Yeah. I mean, needless to say, but just one finger can really affect your accuracy. No, I'm not worried about him. I am worried about him if he sticks with the Seahawks, but I think it's more of a Seahawks problem than it is a Russell Wilson problem.
Cool.
Every quarterback's entitled to a losing season.
Yeah, it's going to happen. And usually you're on a nice franchise where you have draft picks to help rebuild after that losing season, which...
But Jamal Adams had an interception on Monday, so it's all right.
A giant tipped pass that fell into him. All right.
The ball intercepted.
Whoa, look at this bullshit.
Whatever.
8% of the the Broncos did get cursed. So
they did get cursed.
Maybe people noticed. Fuck you. We're going with the Broncos. We're going to talk about that more this week in the prediction episode. The streak ends now. The streak ends now. And
I love it.
The game of the week, New England.
This is a great game.
At Buffalo. So excited for Monday Night Football. It feels like it's been a while since we've had a nice Monday Night Football matchup.
Yeah, I mean, rarely do they get the game of the week. This is as good as it gets. I can't remember the last time we had a Monday night game in Buffalo, unless I think the Titans game was in Tennessee earlier this season.
Yeah, I think it's been a long time.
But it's weird because Buffalo feels like the big brother right now, even though they were the little brother for 20 years. 20 but years, that one season really reversed the narrative. I don't know. I want to pick the Bills.
I'll pick the Bills.
I don't think it's logical necessarily, but 56% of the public agrees with me.
Yeah. No, I think the Patriots are very good. I just don't know how good they actually are. Some of their dominant wins have been against bad teams, which is fine. Good teams do that. Yeah. Bills did it early in the season.
You feel like there's going to be an inconsistent Mac Jones game, like what we said about Jalen Hurts earlier. That's what rookie quarterbacks do. They have bad games. Yeah. It would make sense that we come against a really good Bills defense.
Thank you. Finish my thought for me, Will. Totally agree. This is a good defense. We're going to be without Trey White, but I'm all in on those Bills. Anyway, those are our picks. They are locked in. 14 of 14. See how we did.
We're going 14-0 this week.
We're going 14-0, especially with that Broncos pick. Yeah, good week.
Yeah, that should be worth 2 if we get that right.
It should
Can you go in the settings and change it?
Yeah, probably. Go cheat us back to the top.
Yeah. How funny would that be?
All right, guys.
We cheat against people who pay to be in the league.
And then cheat them.
Yeah.
There's been some nefarious things happen in the Patreon fantasy leagues. And I haven't been able to stop some trades that happened there because I saw it too late. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Again, we got a special guest to talk about Carson Strong. That'll be up in a day or two.
It's not Carson Strong.
It is not. No, we don't have Carson Strong.
Yeah. That'd be funny, though, if we had a special guest who was actually him.
Yeah. We have Carson Wentz and Carson Palmer ready to talk about Carson Strong.
Exactly.
All right. Good night and good luck. And John Elway's ACL once killed a man.
Yep.